Game 2 of 4 for the Paul Loggan Classic here at North Central High School here on ISC Sports Network. Alongside Brady Laurie, Joey Lindstrom with you. So excited to bring the action as the Carmel Greyhounds take on the Lake Central Indians. And today's broadcast is brought to you by Indy Card Exchange. Log on to Indy Card Exchange and see how much money you can make off of your collection. Also brought to you today by Social Cantina. Head over to Social Cantina right off Monon Boulevard for an unforgettable dining experience. The Carmel Greyhounds are 5-1, coached by Ryan Osborne in his 8th season, a state championship winning head coach, taking on Ryan Sexton in his 2nd season at the helm for Lake Central Indians, a school that has had many years of success with an elusive state title game over the years. So Brady, today a matchup of two teams with different seasons, and we talked about this in the first game. It's hard to tell where you're really at this point in the season, but Lake Central has dropped their last few games, now looking to respond, but respond is going to be a tough word here today because Carmel is a very strong opponent for this Indians team to be taken on.
Yeah, Joey, I think you're going to see two teams that play really hard and play really well together. As far as Lake Central, yeah, they've lost their last 3, but they've been in every game. Of those games, many of them are 2-3 point losses. So they're in every game. If they just bring it today, they're going to give Carmel a rough time. Now, Carmel, on the other hand, feels to me more like they are closer to polished rather than trying to work the kinks out. Their only loss being to Noblesville. And like I said about losing to Warren Central, there's no shame in losing to Noblesville. That's a pretty good basketball team.
So the premier players from a year ago for Carmel include Alex Kudo, 20 points per game this season. He would make it rain from 3 the season ago. That hasn't stopped. Evan Harrell, 15 points per game this year as well, another young player. So this is a group that has matured over the years despite being a pretty much a young squad. It's going to be fun to see how they turn out this season. Already off to a good start.
Yeah, and the names there to remember are Harrell and Kudo. They really do a nice job. And they're good team, like I said, team players. They share the ball. This is a pretty good balanced basketball team.
Underneath the first basket from Aiden Dickerson. Not the first player you draw up to have the first basket of the day.
Well, he is a utility guy, plays a lot of defense. Really a good player to have on the team. That's why he's a starter for the Greyhounds.
Had limited minutes last season. Only about 3 points per game. Good action this year so far. Here's Lake Central, led by Zach Green, who's not on the floor as of right now. Not starting today, but second-ranked player in Class 4A coming into the 2024-2025 season, 22.5 points per game.
That'll be an interesting thing to see, maybe if we can figure out why he's not starting at the moment. When I did speak to Coach earlier this week, he did indicate that he thought the starting lineups would be about the same, so I'm a little surprised by that.
Could be perhaps nursing an injury.
You sure hope not.
Yeah, the Christmas break, though, so perhaps
right?
That'd be the perfect time to.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
A little R&R.
If he's healthy, he'll get lots and lots of minutes. He is a quality basketball player for sure.
David Aguilera to inbound, inside to Cooper Cronky. Good active hands from Carmel with Jermichael Fountain. Kind of the heir apparent for what Carmel needed to have with Ryan Clevenger a season ago. Jermichael Fountain has assumed that role. He's really active defensively, somebody who can get his hands in every play. And early bucket for Evan Harrell. Good to get number 23 going as early as possible if you're the Hounds.
Yeah, he can score, and he can score in bunches, so I expect a good game for him after getting off to a good start.
Inside, powerful move for Jordan Ireland, but unable to get it to fall.
And he'll score some points down there in the paint. He's crafty around the rim. Can use either hand. He's a nice player.
Turnover here for Lake Central, or for Carmel rather, back to Lake Central.
Yeah, off the fountain miss there. Looked like Kudo was trying to do the right thing, maybe tip it out to a teammate, but came out a little hot, went out of bounds. So I also notice over on the Lake Central bench is Noah Sabador, probably their best shooter. I wonder if this is a strategy call on Coach Sexton's part to maybe get them in to get off to a run if they halfway through the quarter or something to that effect. I'm a little surprised to see two good scorers like that not out on the floor at the very beginning. Especially
against Carmel, right? Because you get your two best scorers. Now maybe you're trying to have your team figure out where the rest of the source of the fountain scoring is going to be. And maybe you needed just that off the floater, but it's missed by Enyart.
Well, Enyart's a nice player. He's gotten better this year. He's really stepped up in the rebounding. I think that's what they were calling him to do, just be a little more assertive now that he's an upperclassman.
Lake Central hailing from the region, Northwest Indiana. Gonna travel here from Bill Meyer.
St. John, Indiana, way up there.
Oh, yeah.
So Lake Central and South Bend Riley both had long trips, but I think the Evansville schools had a little bit longer trip, if I know my geography.
I think you're right. Like 2 hours versus 2.5, perhaps. Kudo is what he does best. Off on the first attempt, but that was straight on. He's going to take that shot. It was nearly contested, but he was still confident enough to let that rip.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because one of the things I really noticed about him watching these games, he gets most of his money between the wings, the right wing and the left wing. He's going to shoot that shot at the top of the key with high level of frequency, and he's going to make a lot. Got some motion offense here. It's got a little bit of a flex feel to it, but it's not.
Oh. Poked away, and almost into the scorer's table goes Enyart.
Enyart with the hustle.
Yeah, good hustle play. So we've gone 5 minutes now and haven't seen either of the leading scorers for Lake Central. I'm starting to wonder if the injury bug has maybe plagued the Indians here, but regardless, the first quarter 4-0, and Carmel with an early lead, Lake Central with zilch.
Yeah, I don't know. It almost has a discipline feel to it or something. I don't want to speculate, because I know they're both great kids and they both work really hard, but maybe they're in the doghouse for some reason, and hopefully we see them later.
He'll try to grab that rebound off the shot from Julian Voigt. And Voigt was a player that just averaged 3 points per game last season. He was really a knockdown shooter when he was open. So that's going to be a key for Carmel when it comes to open shooters, when Alex Kudo maybe is being guarded or double teamed.
Yes, and you don't see a lot of wide open shots when you're playing Lake Central, because they are scrappy and they do a nice job of covering up on the outside. They try not to switch a lot of screens. I don't know if it's because of the size difference between some of the guards, and maybe it just seems that they're going to try to fight through most of these screens, so they may get caught on them. It's just not something that you see a lot in this day and age with so many ball screens and things of that nature. Teams are used to showing or switching or something like that, but Lake Central seems to want to fight around a lot of these screens.
First three of the day, and that does not fall. We've seen the shaky rim at this end of the floor in the first game. I'm starting to wonder about this particular. Does someone need to get the screwdriver out and tighten this thing?
Well, as a former maintenance man, I would volunteer my skills, but I don't have that many.
I mean, that's why I was wondering. You had your bag all handy. I was wondering what was in there.
Tool belt.
Packed so belt. Yeah, you got your tool belt on today.
Yeah, and
Your lawyer pants on with your tool belt.
right. Kroenke did miss that 3 down here, but he is somebody that's a good, steady three-point shooter. So I like that he rose up and shot it confidently. He'll get some to go today.
Fountain with an open look, the lefty. And the rebound by Bill Meyer. Brady Connor checked in a few minutes ago, and Lake Central lost to Culver, Munster, and Mishawaka Marion. And now a chance to really right the ship against a really solid Carmel team. They're just finding the elusive first bucket. Once you see the first one go in, it starts to pour, but it's going to be tough when Voigt bearing down, careening that block away.
Great block. Yeah, this is a tough one. 6.5 minutes in. Lake Central with no points yet. They're playing really good defense on Carmel, though. Keep holding them to 6 at this point in the quarter.
Yeah, that's no small feat.
Absolutely. With Harrell and Vogt, Kudo, these guys can score. And Fountain.
Bill Meyer back up top for Ireland. Well, Lake Central's doing a great job moving the ball, just not able to move it back into the basket. Down to Ireland.
That's a
working hard against Dickerson.
Great spin move.
Outside, Bill Meyer knocks down the 3, breaks the ice for Lake Central.
He's a quality outside shooter, so I expect he'll knock a few of those down today as well.
Underneath, Dickerson snatched out of the air. What a nifty play by Cooper Kroenke, all 5'10".
There's a lot to unpack there. That was an outstanding drive, great pass, and a block out of nowhere.
Down to 30 the first quarter. It's been a slow burn for both sides so far. Defensive battle early. Suspect that might change as we move further into the game.
It's a good drive there and a good kick out by Connor.
Dickerson loses the handle, but it was poked away by Ireland. Carmel on a 2-game winning streak. Lost to Noblesville on December 13th, 50-37. Kudo launch it before the end of the first quarter. It's what he does best.
Absolutely. He that top of the key area just seems like a home for him. He seems so comfortable there, and he shoots it so confidently from up there. It's where he seems to get a lot of his three-point.
9-3 early for the Greyhounds ahead of Lake Central after 1 here on ISC. Now, for more than 30 years, the Indy Card Exchange has been your trusted source for buying and selling trading cards of all kinds, and they are refining the game of professional grading with consultation services to save you time and money. Go to IndyCardExchange.com for more information and to see how you can make money off your collection. Main Street Barbershop, as you probably know by now, Main Street Barbershop is no longer located on Main Street, just off of 116th and Keystone Merchants Plaza. Still, it doesn't say Main Street Barbershop at the new location. It still rather does say Main Street Barbershop at the new location. That's okay, because you know it's still the same great haircut and the same affordable rate with the same great people taking care of you, like the pride of Lanesville and Matt Stilger. Stop by Main Street Barbershop. Just don't look for it on Main Street.
Well, Joey, still no Zach Green, still no Noah Sabador.
Yeah, there's a smell of injury. I hear your plea about maybe discipline, but I don't know. I feel like they're both being supportive on the bench, and I wonder in their full get-up if it is an injury, in fact.
Yeah, I wish I had paid a little more attention during warm-ups to see, but I didn't see anybody limpy or any notes of injury, but I don't know. We'll see how it unfolds, I suppose.
Meanwhile, that was Julian Vogt on the 3. Back-to-back triples for Carmel.
Stingy Carmel defense.
They are, and they've fallen into that pseudo zone.
It is. They do such
kind of flip in between.
Yeah, they do such a good job on help defense. It's hard to tell if they're in a zone or man sometimes.
Kroenke gets blocked. Dickerson tracked that ball down nicely. Everybody getting active on the Carmel bench as well. Outside, that one doesn't fall. You know, Lake Central seems diligent and intentional about their three-pointers right now because of this Carmel defense.
Yeah, they do. It just feels like they're not getting outstanding looks because Carmel's all over the place. They've got arms and hands all over the place and in your way when you're trying to get a jumper off. Okay, so here we go. Zach Green's coming in.
All right, enough time has passed, and Zach Green will finally get into the ball game here. Meanwhile, Dickerson knocks that one in for his second bucket.
And to add to my theory, I just noticed Spencer Gale has not been in the game either, and Coach and I talked about him specifically on the telephone earlier this week. So I can't think of a good reason why he's not playing right now, but something seems to be up with 3 of his top players sitting out the first quarter. Lucky didn't call for a hook there.
Outside, long ball for David Aguilera. Now, I think you're privy to that. There might be something, just maybe it's trying to get a sense of where your team's at without their star players. And we'll see what the impact then of Zach Green rather, coming in. We'll see how he does initially.
It seems like a strange thing to experiment against a Carmel team, though. You know, especially as good as Lake Central has played this year. They've been in every game, so they should be fairly fearless, knowing that they can play with anybody, and they've played close games all season long. It just seems like an odd thing if it's an experiment. I can't think of a great reason why somebody would do that.
I agree with you. I think there's a definite sense here that you're gonna have to get something moving as it's 17-3 quickly. Yeah. Hey, it's Social Cantina in Carmel. You can head over there right off Monon Boulevard for an unforgettable dining experience. Enjoy their dog-friendly patio, kids meals, and mouth-watering tacos, refreshing margaritas, and by the way, an unbeatable happy hour special. Check them out at thesocialcantina.com and bring the whole family. By the way, you're good at lots of things like cheering on your team to victory at Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Agent Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. That's why Nathan is here to help you think through any question you have about your auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance. Talk to Nathan in person, online, or over the phone, 317-507-7871, or stop by his office at 9821 East US Highway 36 in Avon. Start your local Avon agent, Nathan Begley, at Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, and stop knocking on wood.
Tristan Bly has checked in. 6'4" senior, gets a first shot at it.
Saved briefly there by Noah Enyart. Well, Zach Green is in the ball game now, which is a welcome sign for Lake Central. The senior, 6'3".
He's a guy that does it all, Joey. He's a great defensive player. Oftentimes will draw the best defender or the best offensive player on the other team. He's a great scorer. He can shoot it. He can get to the rim. He can finish. Got beat on that one, though.
A good finish there for Ben Bremer.
And he's a kid that can do both as well. He's a good shooter, but he can also drive it to the rim.
Well, 1-3 knockdown for Lake Central. They run this play underneath for Enyart, and he can't get it to go either. So
he's had a little trouble getting those things to fall in that lane.
And Enyart's got 14 points a game. This has been a despondent start here for the Indians.
It just seems clunky. It's a little awkward. I've not seen these rotations in the previous games that I've watched, so I'm just not sure. Now, I am used to seeing them in that press. They do like to press and get after it, knock balls loose, and get turnovers. But it's just the personnel I'm not used to seeing out there together. Good look.
On the outside.
Harrell's a good passer.
Just short there on the shot was Miles Wiley.
Wiley's a guy I like. He's a scrapper too. He gets dirty. He gets on the floor. He'll fight for rebounds and loose balls. He may only get 4 points a game, but plus-minus wise, he's a guy.
Carmel was lighting it up from outside. Ben Bremer knocks down his first triple. And he gets back-to-back buckets.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Bremer can get him in bunches for sure.
Tristan Bly on the court for Lake Central.
It's an aggressive take there by Aguilar.
It sure was. It pays off.
Aguilera. Sorry about mispronouncing that. But I think Lake Central needs to do a little more of that, penetrate and get inside. Good finish there by Harrell.
Yeah, strong. It's tough sometimes when you're going up to the basket like that. You get a little contact, maybe you get a little gun shy around the rim. He did not shy away there.
Yeah, he's an awfully strong kid. Good look there.
There's Green. Almost got the friendly roll.
Yep, I'm rooting for him. I'd like to see him maybe move a little more toward the basket to get going. He's really good at that pull-up jumper, but he's, I think, a lot more effective when he's closer to the paint.
Aguilera. Back to Bly. Here Ryan Sexton imploring his guys to move that ball around, and it pays off.
Yeah, look, just like that one he missed, the first one he missed, he still rose up, shot that one confidently. Good to see that go down for him.
In a first half that has been forgettable for Lake Central, Carmel has really elevated its play. There is such a thing as sometimes playing down if your opponent's having an off day a little bit. Carmel has not done that.
No, and I don't think you'll see that out of this Carmel team this year. They seem to bring it every night.
Good movement to Harrell from Wiley, and he'll go to the line to shoot too.
I told you he was scrappy. He's digging in there with the 6'8" Harrell. Got a jump ball out of it.
Central with 90 seconds. And Zach Green hasn't found the bottom of the net yet.
Good shot fake, good pass.
And unable to get the bucket to fall was Ireland.
Yeah, Aguilera, good fundamentals there. The shot fake, one dribble, good look, made a nice pass. Jordan just couldn't finish it.
Harrell going to try his hand at 3, and why not?
Yeah, he definitely can shoot it out there too. He's a big man that's got some range.
Through to Green with Fountain defending. If you ask Ryan Osborne, Fountain is the guy that's going to defend the best player on the other team.
Yeah, you can see physically how strong he is. He's quick, can jump, great athlete. Like we talked about in our first game, he's not somebody I wanted to bring it up in the backcourt against. Good on-the-ball defender. Oh, they got him on a back screen. That was a great defensive play, ultimately, by Jordan Ireland. He got caught on that back screen and you'll have somebody like Kudo setting a back screen for Harrell. You almost have to switch back screens.
Right.
But if you do, you create a matchup problem for yourself because then you have a guard like Aguilera or Kroenke guarding Harrell in the post, and you sure don't want that.
It's one of those too when you have the athletes at different positions, especially both in the post and at the guard position, a little bit of an embarrassment of riches sometimes. So when you can utilize them in different ways, it can be a long day for the defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Timeout on the floor. Give us a chance to tell you about Shields Assigning Services. Chris Shields, one of Indiana's top officials, is responsible for the assignment of officials for many major events, including the Paul Loggan Memorial Classic. Want to become an IHSAA official? We need you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to find out how easy and rewarding it can be. Plus, your first year license is free. 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, they took the full timeout here, I suspect, in an effort to draw up something to make sure they get a bucket here going into the locker room. If they get a two-pointer, obviously a 28-8 lead going into the locker room at halftime is something that any coach, any team would welcome.
Coming up later on, the 5th game on our ISC Sports Network coverage. Girls basketball, Rights against Pike. And Dickerson, he's been a bright spot for this Carmel team in this first half. Like you said, you call him the utility player.
Yep.
Bit of a Swiss Army knife sometimes. He can defend, and obviously he's worked on his shot since last season. Wasn't taking those as confidently, which is great to see out of a young player. There's Kudo up top.
So he hit one up there to close the first quarter.
He had an open look. He's going to give it off to Dickerson, and Dickerson at the buzzer, capping off what has been an excellent first half for number 5, and perhaps an even better first half for his team of 29-8 after 16 minutes of play.
You queued that right up for him, didn't you?
Sometimes we get lucky.
Working on that left-handed jumper. That's a good-looking left-handed jumper out there.
And that was a imperative first half there for the Greyhounds. What do you make of that for both sides?
Well, if you're Carmel, goodness, you just keep doing what you're doing. I think this is the kind of effort they're going to bring against all these good teams on their schedule. Lake Central, I'm just a little surprised. There's obviously there's a personnel issue that I'm surprised by. They're putting forth some effort. They really are. It's just there's combinations that I've not seen in the games that I've watched of theirs. It's a little clunky. Getting some shots, but they're not great shots. And Zach Green, respectfully, He's a good shooter off the dribble, but when you're down 18, 20 points, you know, those tough off the dribble types of pull-up jumpers from 15, 16, 17 feet, that's not what you need right now. You got to get to the foul line, get in there inside where you can get to the free throw line or finish or both.
And no impact from Zach Green. Didn't even play until the second quarter. Maybe that changes in the game plan for the next half.
Well,
we'll see.
Here's the thing. It's 29-8. Noah Sabador, really valuable. Can that in this game, and for Zach Green to put it on the floor and get some things going around the basket. That's what they need to do. They need to do more of that inside free throw lines types of getting fouled, getting to the free throw, maybe some jump shots, just and without floor. No doubt about that. Base, but without that,
all Carmel for the rest of our sports coverage here on ISC Sports Network.
Bury it for Leland Walker. Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play. Oh my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Ellen's way.
That it is. Wrestler! Wrestler!
Whoa! Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds left. Fake players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it. That's the finish. You get a layup taken and an and one.
Welcome back to North Central High School, Paul Logan Memorial Classic. Alongside Brady Lurie, Joey Lindstrom with you. In that first half featured a Carmel Greyhounds team that was well coordinated and in business. 29-8 for that first half. And Brady just felt like they were so in control. Tomorrow, Carmel will get Evansville Rights at 11:45 a.m. And Lake Central will have to wait till this time tomorrow to take on the host, North Central. It'll be interesting to see how that'll turn out for this Carmel team. They seem to be well informed. Aiden Dickerson has been kind of the player of the game so far for this group, already with 11 points, and he has been a player for this team. Not the one we expected, not the hero we thought we would get, but definitely the one that we deserved.
Yeah, he does a lot of good things, offensively, defensively, and you can see he can shoot the three, he can get to the rim. Nice all around. I called him the utility player. He is that utility knife for the Greyhounds.
And so far for Lake Central, no Zach Green. You mentioned no Noah Sabador, and Spencer Gale as well, also not on there. Zach Green, well, we say no Zach Green. He hasn't scored a point yet, but he came on late in that second quarter. Just felt like maybe too little too late for that first half. Wonder how that strategy changes, or what Ryan Sexton will have certainly in store for this second half.
Well, that is the thing for folks to watch. Let's see who they come out with here to start the third quarter. I hope we see Spencer Gale. I hope we see Noah Sabador. I feel like Carmel is not getting to see Lake Central at full strength, but they're taking full advantage of it, obviously.
Special venue here at North Central, Paul Loggan Memorial Classic, and a lot of players from programs that have storied histories. I can remember when I was a freshman at Butler, seeing Tyler Weidman yamming on guys in dunks. It was special, and he's a Lake Central grad, I know, so it's awesome to see.
Who else did I see?
Programs that continue to evolve it.
Was Glenn Robinson the third?
Oh, was he a Lake Central guy?
Yeah, I think he was a Lake Central guy, if I'm not mistaken. There's so many good players up in that area.
Yeah, it's special. It means a little bit more here in Indiana. We're going to take our second break, and when we come back, we'll have highlights and some more stats to get you ready for the second half of action between Carmel and Lake Central on ISC.
Brewer jams it home. That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net. A little fireworks in the first half. Throw it up for Tillman. Whoa, my goodness. 122.60 for Penn.
What a swim! Six of them.
Shot at the buzzer. She got it! Oh my goodness, what a shot! Hello! Did it again. Hello! Made the highlight reel again. That goes to Mentor and all kinds of room to run. Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. Jackson, hello! There we go.
Stokes throws it, caught, ball ricochets.
Wow.
A huge hit.
Wow.
This has been an amazing display of goal scoring.
First half highlights between Carmel and Lake Central. It was all a lot of Greyhound highlights for sure. Aiden Dickerson led the way with 11 points. Evan Harrell was adding a little bit of salt as well. In a first quarter that ended 9-3 off a buzzer beater there by Alex Kudo, or nearly a buzzer beater. This was a strong second quarter, a 20-5 showing for the Carmel Greyhounds, Brady, and it just felt like they've been in control and haven't looked back.
Well, if you're Lake Central, you got to shake it up. You got to do something here to get back in this game. I fully expected, Joey, for this to be the game of the day for me. I expected it to be a battle. Both teams play hard. They're well coached. I don't want to say I'm disappointed with a 21-point margin, but I would like to see Lake Central at least make a game out of this for us.
No doubt. I think they will. I think there's a chance here we see more of Zach Green showing his stuff. He's defended very well there by Jermichael Fountain, who's Carmel's best defender. He can impact the game in a lot of ways, more than just his defensive ability. We also saw him have active hands out there. He's not going to fill it up as far as the scoring goes, but he is a player that is to be reckoned with.
Oh, he's an outstanding player, and he can be so frustrating for a guy like Green who wants to get to the rim. Because even if you get a step on him, Carmel plays such good help side defense. It's just frustrating. So looks like Green and Gale and Sabador are still on the bench to start the half.
Dickerson was trying to pick up right where he left off the buzzer beater towards the end of that first half.
Is it a heat check if your last jumper that went in was about 15 minutes ago?
Definitely. You're still warming up for that. There's Ireland inside. Good ball movement there from Lake Central. Ireland vying for the rebound. Dickerson comes up with it. There's Kudo. Carmel's best win a season ago was against Fishers to make the Tigers undefeated no longer back in January. And Alex Kudo was the man of the hour with 5 3-pointers to boot. And that was kind of his moment of arrival.
Yeah, it feels good to beat your neighbors, especially when they had an undefeated season going into the game. But Carmel, Fishers, Noblesville, a lot of good teams up there.
Good active hands there from Kroenke. Outside, in and out for Harrell.
What do you think about that rim, Joey?
You know, that rim has been an elusive figure today. Ireland underneath, can't get it to go.
Yeah, he missed another good one off a pass down here in the first half, and he's having a little trouble getting those easy ones to go.
Well, just as quickly as we said Jamichael Fountain's not going to fill up the score sheet, knocks down a 3 on the outside. Cross-court pass. And you couldn't get it to go. Kudo on the other end, shoot 2.
He's one of those that's good at getting fouled, good at getting to the free throw line. Just adds to all of his abilities. There's a lot that he can do. He's a really talented kid. It was an awkward baseball pass down there. You don't see very often from Kroenke over to the corner.
Especially not in the half court.
A little different angle.
Threaded the needle, though.
Yeah, it's a velocity on it, too.
He obviously wasn't watching the Bears-Seahawks game last night to understand what that looks like.
Neither was I, in all honesty.
No, don't worry, you missed nothing at all. 6-3 final.
Oh, there have been some clunkers in the NFL so far this season, but
Yeah.
there's been a handful of great games.
It's been a tough one to watch. Too many bad teams.
Now, the poor Bears, that was one of the best games of the year when they lost to the Commanders on
Yeah.
that Hail
Yep.
Mary.
Good pass inside. Bill Meyer can't get it to go. Wow. Bad to worse in some ways for Lake Central. Dickerson on a low block. Carmel moving the ball efficiently. Kudo short on that one. Fountain back-to-back 3-pointers.
It's like he's having his own three-point shooting contest today.
He said, I heard the comments about my lack of 3-point shots, and I raise you back-to-back triples.
Yeah. Well, Lake Central's going to have to answer somehow. It again, Zach Green's going to get usually the other team's best offensive player. It'd be nice to see him out there trying to bottle him up, but again, he's riding the pine.
Short on that one. I think that may have gotten tipped by Bremer. Fountain, does he have 3?
Why not? Why not?
Banging home threes and making Lake Central pay for mistakes. Jamichael Fountain on a tear.
Coach Sexton's got to do something about that.
Impressive stuff from Jamichael Fountain. At Indy Card Exchange for more than 30 years, they've been your trusted source for buying and selling trading cards of all kinds. And they're refining the game of professional grading with consultation services to save you time and money. Go to IndyCardExchange.com for more information to see how much money you can make off of your collection. You have any rare baseball cards or basketball cards or anything like that?
Oh, I've got.
You get over to Indy Card Exchange?
I've got a lot of rare baseball cards that cannot be located. It's one of those things when you move around from high school and you move out to college and then you move and you get another house. I have no idea where all those are, but I'm telling you, I'm way older than you, but I've got some good stuff from the late 70s, early 80s. Just don't know where they are.
Yeah.
I did make one card purchase recently, and that's the Mark Jackson basketball card where he's making a bounce pass into the post, and if you look in the front row, you see Lyle and Eric Menendez sitting there in the front.
Wild.
Yeah. So
you as a lawyer, you're probably tuned in, right?
I thought, look at that.
That's pretty crazy.
1 point guard and 2 shooters.
Well, it's been a affair making it rain here today for Carmel from outside. They've been shooting the ball quite well. And Lake Central certainly going to work in a double digit here.
Boy, that's interesting. I hate to see that called because Kudo does the right thing. He sticks his hand right in the middle of Kroenke's crossover, but I think it just looked clunky enough that the official felt like he had to blow the whistle. I just love that move defensively. If you see a crossover coming, just stick your hand right in the middle of it. Good post
Pass
by
underneath, and that's just kind of how the day's gone today for Noah Enyard and Lake Central.
You know, and it's a long bus ride down, I'm sure. Maybe you don't have your legs. Just a tough day for the Indians.
Good rebound by Fountain.
Wow. Could he play any better today?
Just facilitating the best way to play basketball right now as good as he can. It's been pretty impressive to see because he wasn't more of a role player last year, but Dickerson seems to be taking on a larger piece of the puzzle here for the Greyhounds.
Am I reading that right? Is he just a sophomore?
That's right.
Wow. That's something for the Greyhound faithful to look forward to.
He's got a lot of time ahead, and the only place to go is up.
Yeah, and Carmel does it right. They've got a really nice program for the kids coming up. They take real good care of those kids and just kind of build from the bottom, from the youth up. And it's just going to be like that. Like I mentioned earlier, they just seem to reload year after year after year. It's a really nice program they run. Almost a miscue there.
There's Zach Green.
Yeah.
And a travel. Just out of sync.
It really is, and I got to credit Carmel. I mean, they're just playing so well defensively. On-the-ball defense is good. The help side defense is good. It's just a team. I mean, watch out, folks. If you're a good team in Indiana, you may not want to run into these guys in the tournament.
Kudo throwing that ball inside to Harrell. What a play by the Greyhounds. Everything seemingly working for Carmel right now.
And you had a good little post up there. Harrell thought he might reach around and knock that ball away, or maybe steal it, but got called for his first foul. And he's a good wide body down there. He does a good job in the post. And like I said, he's really stepped up his rebounding game, getting almost 10 rebounds a game. It's good to see him stepping up his play. His dad's the athletic director there at Lake Central, I read.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good tidbit there. Kroenke for three.
Oh, good effort.
Near putback from Brady Connor. So Zach Green, the only one we've seen. No Salvador and no Spencer Gale. Second and third leading scorers, and turnover here for the Greyhounds. It's been a tough day for the Lake Central Indians if you're just joining us. Carmel has had no losing seasons since 2011-2012. Todd Howard, assistant coach for Carmel, was at IUI from 2011 to 2014. Walt Morris on the staff as well, longtime assistant. Josh McRoberts was on the staff last year. Is once again this season. 10-year NBA vet and a Carmel grad. Another turnover for Lake Central. They've actually been pretty clean with the ball handling as far as ball security goes. Not too many turnovers, but just missed shots, maybe a few errant passes here and there, and that's kind of been the story today.
Yeah, it hadn't been turnovers that's been the problem. It's just the getting to the rim, getting it to go in, and knocking down. They're getting some good three-point looks, too, that just aren't falling. So, again, I think it's this mix-up or change-up in the personnel has created a little clunky offense at this point. So, it's just not the Lake Central team I'm used to seeing.
Look at North Central tomorrow, playing a true away game in tournament fashion. And Fountain gets some trouble from Kroenke. Say what you will about how Lake Central's playing on offense. Their defense, particularly with Kroenke, has not slowed down on effort.
Nope. Fountain got away with a little bit of a shove there. I think he's getting a little irritated at Kroenke's feistiness. And that's good, just great on-the-ball defense. I mean, Kroenke kind of can anticipate where Fountain's going to go and does a nice job on the ball. Creates a turnover effectively. Oh, he missed him.
Underneath to Ireland. Final seconds here in the third quarter, and a foul.
Clock. I mentioned the clock. It's a running clock.
You're so right. And that is how we're going to end our third quarter. 45-8 in front of the Greyhounds. Be back with you after this. Carmel ahead 45-8. Once a team gets to 30 points for their lead, the clock will continue to run, and anytime the Lake Central breaks that deficit into 30, the clock will continue to stop. So the clock monitor will have to keep an eye out for that. But Lake Central just trying to get in double digits here in the fourth quarter. It's been all Greyhounds today.
And Joey, if you had asked me to place a wager with you that this would be a running clock at some point in this matchup, I would have thought, no way.
Yeah, it's certainly on paper didn't seem like this would be the case, but it has been all Greyhounds. They've handled their business today.
It's probably why I don't gamble much, Joey.
Yeah, same.
My DraftKings account would verify that I'm not very good at it.
Of course, then you don't, and you can watch a game and say, I would have taken that.
That's exactly how it works.
There's Bill Meyer on the outside.
Doing okay in football this season, though. The NFL's been pretty good to me. College recently has.
Here's Green. Working hard and
There
getting
he
his
is.
first bucket of the day.
Well, that feels right.
Green knocks it in, and a timely basket.
There's no quit in Lake Central. They're at least picking up full court still. That's some great passing interior.
Sure was, and Zach Michaels knocks that one in. Green, back to back.
Hate to say I told you so, but you know, you like to see him get that layup, kind of get things going, and then that pull-up jumper seems to come off a lot nicer.
Definitely too little, too late
Yeah.
as well. Now, we don't know what transpired to not have Zach Green start and have limited minutes, but maybe it's just as simple as trying to figure out where this team can be without him on the court.
Great
Well,
defense.
clearly he makes an impact. That went short from Kroenke. Aguilera tries to keep it alive and
Knocked it off.
successfully knocks it off the foot there of Boyd.
Yeah, a great play. Well, Carmel holding these guys to 12 points at this juncture is a very impressive feather in their cap. And if you can guard this team, a bunch of pretty good athletes for Lake Central, that well, good news going forward. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Caught the ball along the sideline. That was Zach Michaels.
Yeah, it was a great
Rather
play.
unfortunate for Michaels. I think he rolled an ankle too.
That's what I was afraid of. It looked like he made a great steal, caught it with both hands, almost like a football receiver trying to keep his feet in bounds. Looked like he tripped himself up a little. All right.
Kroenke knocks it down. His second three of the day.
Well, he deserves it. He's been playing good hard defense all day. Had a couple of those that didn't go in that ordinarily he might make. So I'd like to see him maybe get a couple more here in the next 5 minutes.
If Lake Central puts together a few more baskets before Carmel does, then this is going to be the result of the like Notre Dame IU last weekend. Score is going to be closer than it looked.
Yeah, good season, though, for Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
That's just great to see. It's fun to have basketball back, or football back in Bloomington for sure.
I know you're a Franklin grad. Do you have a football loyalty?
Kansas State Wildcats.
Wow, all right.
You might
so
ask why.
last night you were watching probably?
I was, and they came back for me.
Did they come back?
They did. They came back and won that thing.
Wow.
Now, they didn't cover.
They were down by 20 or something, right?
Yeah, they put it together there at the end. They look real good.
That's fun. A little apple.
Yep, Manhattan, Kansas. I spent a lot of time there. That's why I like them.
Okay.
Got friends that live there. Play a lot of golf out there.
Nice. Kudo. Zach Michaels. So Kudo hasn't had too much of an impact on the scoring sheet because he hasn't had to. The rest of his team has made up for it, particularly Dickerson. And Evan Harrell. Nice little scoop by Wiley.
Nifty. Okay, I was going to say, I didn't see a foul there.
Quick timeout from Ryan Sexton. And it still is running clock.
Well, Coach Sexton and I talked, and we got a minute or so here to talk about it. He comes from a real family of basketballers. His grandfather was Mr. Basketball, played at Purdue, then coached at Butler for years along with Ryan's dad. So that kid has grown up in the gym and has had nothing but basketball exposure basically for his entire life. So he loves the game. It's what makes him a good coach. I mean, this team, in his first year last year, they won their first 14 games.
Yep.
And that's impressive.
Yeah, 18-4 to finish out.
Against some really good competition, too. So I know he can coach them, and he's got good pieces here. So I'm hoping for big things for him later on in the season. This is just, I'd call this a one-off, hopefully, just a kind of a clunker of a game for him. And let's see what they do tomorrow. It'll be nice to see if they can kind of put it back together and make a comeback.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is you don't have that long of a break. You can go right back into this thing tomorrow and rectify some of those mistakes.
Right, except you get to play the host school on
true.
their court after probably staying in a hotel around here, I'm assuming. I can't imagine they'd be driving all the way back and then coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they're going to be having a hotel night, which was always kind of fun, whether we made it to regional or whatever it might be. Kind of good shot there.
And Wiley, a great shot.
Yep.
But it's always fun to be
bunk
with
up.
the boys.
Yeah, you bunk up with your buddies. And in college, obviously, any road trip that was over a couple hours, we'd end up staying overnight. you get really close with your teammates that way. You know, you spend 24 hours with them in a row, eating every meal together, hanging out, watching games, obviously playing and practicing together.
All right.
Road trips are fun when things are going your way.
Crockett to Green.
Nice.
Nice move. Ooh, that was silky.
Golly, that's good stuff. Wish I'd have seen some of that, more of that in the first half.
No doubt. And Wiley responds right away. Back to back for Wiley.
You know, Wiley's a guy that'll get you about 4 points a game ordinarily, but he's a very skilled scorer. Like, he gets tough buckets like that, and he can shoot it real well. So I expect him to be a good scorer for them going forward.
Knockdown 3 for Jacob Billmeyer. You know, Lake Central, you mentioned getting this program back. Last best season was 2014. They're semi-state champs. They ended up losing to Arsenal Tech that year in the state title game. They're sectional champs in 2018 in a sectional that's pretty tough, including Crown Point, Munster, Hammond Central, Hammond Morton, and their conference, the Duneland Conference, Portage, LaPorte, Michigan City, Chesterton, Valparaiso, and Merrillville. So a lot of good basketball up in the region. And they're in sectional number 1. Well, Carmel last year, 47 points a game as a team was their average. And they've got scorers to boot this season. Hanging out at 54 today.
Well, they can do it so many different ways. They've got so many good scorers. And, you know, Harrell had a fairly pedestrian night scoring-wise in the post, but you know he can score. Vogt can score. And now you've seen Dickerson. What a nice third musketeer he is.
There's Green again. Final minute to play. In a game that Carmel controlled from the beginning.
Well, let's see if the referees hustle into another play here since that clock is running.
Don't go anywhere. Wrights against Pike. The girls' side coming up here on ISC. Rick Johnson, Jared Thomas will have the call for you. They're from North Central High School in the Paul Logan Classic. Both girls and boys teams getting after it today, somewhere in the Paul Logan Fieldhouse.
Kind of a hard foul there for Minyard.
DeLacy Fant on DeLacy rather, on from the JV team. Coached by Justin Kurtz, fellow Butler alum. Shout out to Justin. He was a manager for the basketball team when we were Butler together. Nice pursuing coaching. What a better place to go than Carmel, right?
Right. Well, you Bulldogs stay together, don't you?
That's right. Got to.
Such a great school.
Yeah, it is. Underneath, Bly knocks it down. And that will do it from North Central. Carmel didn't take long to get into the lead, and they never looked back. This was a rout of the Lake Central Indians, and Brady, it just felt like Carmel had controlled the game from the jump.
Absolutely, and it's all effort. That's 100% effort out of the Greyhounds. They work so hard on defense. They play together. They do all the good things right. For Lake Central, like I mentioned earlier, maybe it's just a one-off. I don't know. This is not the team that I'm used to seeing, though. So I hope they can right the ship, and we'll find out tomorrow as they get to play North Central here on their court. Just hoping for the best for them going forward.
Well, Brady, excellent job. Can't wait to do it again tomorrow. We'll be up in Kokomo together.
Looking forward to it very much. We got to figure out who we're going to be calling.
That's right. We're going to get some winners. We'll
Yep.
find that out later today. You can catch all that on ISC Sports Network as well, including the Paul Logan Memorial Classic, which was a ton of fun to be a part of today. Carmel, the winner over Lake Central. Do not go anywhere. Wrights and Pike up next here on ISC Sports Network. For Brady Laurie and Vince Morella as our director, I'm Joey Lindstrom. So long for now.